Hi, I'm Luce Dubay and I love to talk about movies 24/7. I've been fascinated with films as long as I can remember, and I upload weekly. Today I'm going to be talking about the new home invasion original Hulu film, No One Will Save You. It's about a young woman battling an alien after a home invasion. It stars Caitlin Dever, and mostly just her. And the film revolves about her almost entirely. There is some actors in the background, but it's mostly just set around her. It's directed by Brian Duffield and also written by Brian Duffield. All right, let's start with the positives. I thought the beginning was pretty solid. It set things up pretty well. It got you interested and intrigued what was going to happen, and it pretty much gets right into it, which I did appreciate. I thought the directing was fantastic. There's a lot of good shots, a lot of good panning, throughout the house and what the lead character is doing. Her name is Brynn. So I really thought the directing was solid. This director actually directed a movie I love, one of my favorites. It's a movie called Spontaneous. It came out in 2020. A movie that flew under everyone's radar because it came out obviously during COVID. And it's kind of just landed on like digital in like October 2020 or something. And that's a phenomenal movie. I won't even tell you what it's about because it's so much fun going in blind. But it stars Catherine Langford. I ended up stumbling across it. I saw that she was, and I was like, oh, I'll check it out, and ended up loving it and watched it a few times. And it's one of my favorite horror movies now. So definitely watch Spontaneous if you like this movie. I thought the acting was top notch by Caitlin Dever. Like I said, it mainly just revolves around her. But just let you know going in, because I didn't notice, this movie barely has any dialogue at all, which I personally didn't love, but some people might enjoy. It mainly revolves around the scares and the intensity. She barely has any dialogue, but she definitely nailed the role because she definitely sold the intensity in this and her being scared and all her emotions. So she did a phenomenal job. Um, there's only one character you can really talk about, which is Brynn. Her character is very complex and different. You don't know what really happened to her. Spoilers. But you definitely have a feeling that something bad happened, but you don't know what yet, and you're kind of intrigued and wondering like why she's kind of has so much anxiety and kind of a homebody. I thought the it had some solid emotion at some aspects, especially towards the end when you don't know what's going to happen, and towards the beginning as well. This movie is very intense. It's only 90 minutes long, and they spend most of the time just with the scares and intensity, and it definitely gets you at some points, especially towards the very beginning and at the very end. I thought the flow was decent. It does go by fairly quickly. And but the thing is, I did like the story. Um, I just wish there was more dialogue, and the visual effects were fantastic. By the way, top notch, looked incredible. But I'm going to get into some of the negatives now. Since there's no dialogue, you can't really get invested in the character, and that's what I love. I love dialogue. I love characters, and I couldn't get invested in either one because there's barely any dialogue. You don't know anything about this character. You don't get like a setup of why you should really like her. You don't like dislike her or anything like that, but you don't know how to feel about her because you basically don't know too much about her. So I wasn't a fan that I just couldn't get emotionally invested most of the time. Besides some like really intense moments, I just couldn't really fully care for her character because the movie didn't give me a reason to. So I didn't love that. I thought, some parts were a little bland and generic, unfortunately. And I did say it flowed pretty well most of the time, but sometimes it just lost my attention. And the runtime, like it is only 90 minutes, but it did feel longer. Unfortunately, I think it could have been you could have trimmed like 10 minutes at least. It should have been like an 80-minute movie probably. Since there's no dialogue, you really didn't need to even be 90 minutes. It could have just been shorter. Um, the ending was a little confusing, but I did respect and appreciate it for doing something different. I did, and here's the thing: I did like aspects of this movie. I appreciate it, but I would say I respected it more than I enjoyed it. If that makes sense. It's a really well made movie, great effects. I just didn't love the whole barely any dialogue thing, and I just couldn't get invested in the character. And in that case, I can't really get invested in the story. Besides some really intense and scary moments. But overall, it's definitely a well-made movie. It's worth checking out. I was really excited based on the trailer and based off of the director because I love his last movie and I love the trailer. I did like this movie. I just didn't like as much as Spontaneous. I think that's his best film so far. But am looking forward to seeing more films from Brian Duffield. And again, Caitlin Dever was amazing. But definitely let me know what you guys think for sure. I'm definitely curious. I'll give this one a B minus. I don't think I'd ever rewatch it, unfortunately. But it's a solid home invasion thriller. That's good for around the Halloween season, like on a rainy night. But again, guys, I do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a great day and take care. Bye.